On today's episode of Kilts and Culture with USA Kilts, we have German cookies.
Did you bring milk?
No. Scotch.
Ooh.
The history of the Gallic lands is one of struggle, punctuated by moments of sheer brilliance.
Tartan is Scotland's gift to the world, and it is your personal heritage story. Howdy, boys and girls. Welcome to Kilts and Culture. I'm Rocky.
I'm Ian.
That's not Eric. Today, four special treats. We have a whiskey that we've tried before and love it so much we had to do it again from our friend Eric Maxwell, and some German cookies. Yeehaw. So we have some, what are these? Speculus. Yeah, thank you.
Acora edel herb.
Yep, this is basically gingerbread cookies with chocolate, and that's just regular gingerbread.
Balsam.
Yep. This is from Germany. Ian, why don't you plate this up for the three of us here?
Sure.
I'm going to read from the mailbag. We don't often get mail, but we got mail. So, Dr. Golo Baranek is a German guy who watches the show and wrote us a really, really, really like old-timey calligraphy, like beautifully written that I can't read letter, and then also typed it. So thank God Eric was able to read it, not me. Complete with a little seal and everything, and sent us German cookies. And I thought it was a pretty cool letter and a pretty cool treat. So I'm going to essentially read what he wrote. Last year, I visited Lochcarron and Selkirk with my family. After the tour, I had the opportunity to buy a kilt that was actually made for somebody else. Customer didn't need it, and didn't want it, so I spontaneously took the kilt and the opportunity and bought my first kilt, which is made of tweed. Not sure how to put it on. My wife looked for instructions on YouTube. That's when I first saw your video. Since then, I've been watching videos, listening to the show on Spotify almost every single day. Your positivity and enthusiasm for kilts and their culture changed my life. Over 1 year later, I'm a serial kilter and wear kilts more often than pants. Since the last delivery, my two boys also have American Dream kilts. In a program, you once talked about German Christmas cookies. That gave me the idea to send you a small selection as a thank you. Of course, it'd be great if you tried it on the show. It would be exciting to see how they taste with scotch and what points you would give. I hope you enjoy it. Dr. Golo Baranek. So, A, thank you. I'm humbled by your kind words. B, it's freaking awesome, and I'm super freaking excited to get German cookies. Having just been in Germany, love it. So, Mac, why don't you come over here, and I'll have you grab a scotch.
Now, would you typically eat something like this with scotch? I don't usually have cookies with scotch, so I'm curious how this is going to go.
I'm very curious. I think the gingerbread's actually going to go really well with it.
I can see that.
All right, get rid of these. So, Mac, what tartan do you have on today?
I've got the Wallace Hunting Muted on today.
Housekeeping issue. We forgot to mention what tartans we are wearing today. So, Ian, what tartan do you have on?
Kilts and Culture.
And I have on the Culloden 1746 tartan. Wallace Hunting Muted.
And we're also wearing our favorite WWE wrestler's, one of his shirts.
Who's that?
Doug.
Ooh.
The Celtic Hammer Valentine.
You forgot your scotch.
I know I didn't.
Okay. So that Mac's shirt is from Doug at Celtic Hammer Club, good friend of ours. He's our artist that does a lot of our stuff. So shout out to Doug. All right. So we already know that we love the Dalmore. So I love you, Eric Maxwell, for giving this to us. We're not going to rate it. I'll give you my rating. 8.5. There you go. It's rated. So we love this, and we love cookies. Yes. Oh, man, these freaking smell delicious. Oh, my God, these smell delicious. Are you eating already?
I don't want to wait.
Newbies. So, all right. First, Mac will start with the speculoos cookies. It's kind of got like a little almondy kind of taste to it. What's on there? And so we got some kind of pattern on there. Zoom in there. Give me the zoom in shot with my face holes. So that's what it looks like on the cookie. It looks like a Viking boat or something. I don't know.
Mine looks like he's pole dancing.
This one looks like a dog. Yeah, his ear broke off, but that one looks like a dog. So
I don't know what that one is.
Yeah. All right. So these speculoos cookies.
Digestives, if you will.
Yes. Digestive biscuits.
Yeah.
Since we're talking British, but not really. Mac, how do you feel about the speculoos?
Not bad. It's like a gingerbready type thing.
Like a
almond-y.
spiced wafer.
Yeah, spiced wafer, crunchy, kind of reminds me of a vanilla wafer with less Nilla.
Yeah, it needs. Where's the cream filling in the middle?
Yeah.
I wouldn't associate that with this kind of cookie.
Now let's pair it with scotch. How do
I
we
did.
feel? Now the Dalmore is a good, like it's a great. It's expensive, but it's a good scotch. So
I like the cookie. I like the scotch. I don't know that combining them gives me any new experience.
okay, I don't disagree.
It's overall a rather plain cookie. It's not my favorite type.
Okay. Next, so let's rate the cookie though. So speculoos, what are we rating it?
Wait, we talking with or without?
This is rated by itself.
This is a cheesesteak
with or
place?
without. So, yeah. Just how do you feel about the speculoos cookie? Regardless,
I'd eat a box.
Yeah. It is the kind of cookie that it doesn't feel like there's a lot going on here. So you could just like sit there and eat a whole sleeve.
and not
Yeah.
know it.
yeah.
They're very plain. I probably wouldn't buy these, but there's nothing wrong with them. Perfect middle of the road 5 for me.
It would be a good Christmas cookie kind of thing out on a little plate at the in-laws or whatever. Mac, what do you rate it
I give it an 8-9.
for the speculoos cookie? Okay. So 8-9. You're just a 5-0.
Well,
I'm gonna go like 7.4.
Okay.
I like it. It's got a little something without being much. It's light.
it's exactly what it's intending to be.
It's what it does. What it says on the tin.
Yeah. Yeah, so no complaints here.
all my
If I sounded the most negative by saying 5, it's just not my favorite type of cookie.
Fair. All right. Next. Ooh, these have chocolate on the bottom. I didn't see that. Ooh. Normally on the bottom of gingerbread cookies, it's just like a flat, like a wafery kind of thing on the bottom. This has chocolate on the bottom. So, and for those who haven't had gingerbread, there's a little bit of hazelnut in here, and it's a lot of spice.
Maybe a little anise. I like this better. I like the chocolate. I like how soft it is.
A lot of German gingerbread is very, very soft.
This feels more fresh than packaged to me, almost, even though it is definitely a packaged product.
It's Jaeger in a cookie.
So you're tasting the anise too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It reminds of like Jaeger in a cookie form.
It's light though. It's not like
Yeah.
in your face like Jaeger would be.
It's almost a cake kind of cookie. Yeah. Okay. Now, taste it with a little bit of whiskey.
I'm curious what Germans would drink with this. These kinds of cookies. 'Cause
Apple corn,
Yeah.
I assume not scotch.
beer.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I definitely got a little something different there.
It's because of the chocolate.
Yeah.
So let it kind of like sit in your mouth and then drink a little bit with some of it still in your mouth.
Almost becomes more appley.
It is a whole different experience.
Yes. For both whiskey and a
Yes.
cookie. Yeah. It's a third thing.
The third one's still on my plate.
Indeed. I was going to say it's like the devastator of, things. It's like 1 + 1 is it greater than the sum of 2. Yeah. Yeah. Transformers joke for those who didn't get it.
I thought you were trying to reference like a Doppelbock kind of a beer.
No.
Call it Devastator.
No. Okay. All right. So let's rate the rate the gingerbread with or without Scotch experience.
7.5. I like that quite a bit.
I got 7-9.
7.9. She my mouth's full. I don't like the anise as much as other gingerbreads that I've had. Even German gingerbread, even some of the other stuff. In fairness to Dr. Golo Baranek, he actually sent a bunch of packages. I didn't want to have a 4-hour show about cookies.
Oh,
we
that
picked
could
3.
be fun too.
It's fair.
Did he send any marzipan?
Yes, it's my office. So for this, the anisey thing is throwing me off a little bit. So I'm going to go 7.1
Okay.
for this one. 7.1.
I don't like things that are very strongly flavored with anise, but this is light enough that
It is light. It is light. It's not like black licorice kind of thing. Okay.
No.
All right. Now we're going to try the last thing. What is this one?
this was the
It's
Macora Edelherb,
Okay.
Fruchted Gerfelt, Lebuchkin, in Edelherb,
Lebkuchen is
Golden
gingerbread.
Mantle.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Golo, for butchering your language.
Yes, indeed. Ian is not versed in the German language of Deutsch, as I am. All right, so we're going to try the German chocolate, so it's got to be good. And same kind of thing with this.
Is there a fruit inside these?
Yes.
Could be.
Same kind of thing with this. I may have snuck one of these before.
Okay.
Not that I'm admitting that on camera. Like, eat this and let it kind of sit in your mouth and drink the scotch with the chocolate. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different freaking thing.
I don't think I like it with the scotch this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's too complex in the
Yes.
cookie.
Yes, I'm too basic.
No. There's too many things going on. It's overpowering your senses.
I think the jammy bit inside the cookie is making it come through like a stronger, like hot alcohol kind of flavor, which I associate with cheap whiskeys. Which obviously that's not what I'm saying about the whiskey. Just
Yeah, that's fair.
you know,
All right. So, Mac, what's your rating on this guy? And if you don't like it with the scotch, then rate it without the scotch.
I think I'm gonna go more middle of the road with this one. I think I'm gonna go like a 5.5 with this one.
Okay. Okay. Ian?
I'm going 8.5. This is my favorite cookie, even though I didn't like it with the scotch so much. I liked it. I like the cookie itself quite a bit.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. I'll go 8.4. Yeah, I like it. Again, I agree. I don't think it's with the scotch. I think that with the jellyish kind of center, it actually detracts. There's too many things going on, too many profiles. But yeah, not bad. Scotch itself, though, spectacular. The Dalmore. Yeah, I think that's all. To quote the immortal Forrest Gump, that's all we have to say about that.
That's all I had to say about that.
Excellent. So that's our review of our German Christmas cookies and the Dalmore round 2. So very good. Boys and girls, thank you for joining us. As always, please load in whatever questions, comments you have. We are here but your humble servants to answer whatever questions you have about kilts and or culture-related stuff. Ian, while we are waiting for people to load in on the interwebs, why don't we go with first preloaded question?
Yeah. So first question I've got here is from Thomas Kerr. What are a few of your favorite Christmassy tartans?
A few of our favorite Christmassy tartans.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go. I think we'll bring Mac in for this one as well.
Matt
I
might
think
know one or two tartans.
you may have a few. I think we can all agree Royal Stewart, McGregor are Christmassy tartans.
Especially McGregor Modern.
Especially McGregor Modern, yeah. So let's put those off. And we'll try to think of either, well, let's do both. A clan tartan or two that just screams Christmas to you, or a universal one that screams Christmas. Mac. Andor.
Yeah, I mean, like, I still go to the Stuart side of things, but I think I go like the Stewart of Appin 1842 variant. Like,
Okay.
It to me that's has a lot of Christmassy feels to it, or even Stewart of Butte.
Okay.
Kind of also has that
Okay.
feel as well.
I gotcha. Ian.
I always liked the McNaughton Muted because it has like more of an old-timey Christmas vibe as opposed to like the modern bright colors that strike me as kind of Coca-Cola Christmas. So that muted color kind of gives it that old like 1940s, your grandma's Santa Claus decoration kind of a vibe to it.
Okay. I agree with you on that. For me, I'm going to go a modern. I'm going to go McFarlane Red Modern. Again, is another, bam, on the nose, a lot of red kind of thing. When I think Christmas, well, or I could do something like, Kerr Muted. if I'm going to stick with your mutedy kind of color palette, which is like a darker red, like an olive green, almost a pine green, if you will, those would be good for it as well. So, okay.
Amongst the kilts that I own, the one that I'll often wear if I'm going to a Christmas-specific function is my Tartan kilt, because it's like a maroon. Again, I'm trying to get away from that like Santa Claus outfit red. What amongst your collection would you wear going specifically to a Christmas function?
Probably Celtic Nations.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I've certainly worn my Celtic Nations muted at Christmas time on purpose before.
Yeah. So Celtic Nations, I'd say, is a good generic, well, not generic, but universal one.
Yeah.
Mac, what's your universal?
The universal, like, I don't know. I'm kind of...
Frankenstein.
What's that?
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Universal monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what I have, what I would typically like. Maybe even going more of a green route, maybe like the County Limerick, the County Crest one that we had a while ago. Mm-hmm. I know I've done that one a few times on Christmas. So,
okay, Ian, a universal.
Yeah. So one that I took quite a bit of heat for on TikTok a few years ago when we did what's a good Christmas tartan video. Glens of Scotland. It's red and green, but it also has a fair amount of gray. I got called out for being colorblind, and I still don't understand the comments because it wasn't like one person. Like several people, like Ian is colorblind. What the heck? I'm like, oh, it's a red and green tartan. What do you want from me? I still don't understand.
They were very concerned that Nicolas Cage couldn't see the tartan colors. So, all right. So Glens of Scotland. All right. I would tend to go for my universal. I would say I'd probably do German heritage.
Okay.
I like the red, or if I was going to do like a green, I would do like Galloway green, muted kind of thing. So it's like more greens or more reds. I'd pick up on one of the colors, but maybe an accent of another or whatever.
So you're going to use German heritage for both your Christmas tartan and your Krampus tartan?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
We'd be remiss here if we didn't mention the Clan Claus tartan, of course.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that is a restricted use for members of Clan Claus.
Yes. Clan Claus tartan or the Toy House or what Toy Box?
Story.
Toy Shop.
Toy Shop.
Toy Shop.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Movie.
It's a movie. It's close enough.
Toy Story.
I've only have two pieces over in production right now. Whatever. I'll figure it out.
We might make the right kill for you. We might not.
I mean, we just had the Kringle was a custom weave that just came through too. That was a little bit more. I think it was very much on the nose and a little less.
A little less subtle.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Toy Shop out of those three, I think I like the best.
I would agree with that.
Very good. Let us know what tartan you're wearing to your holiday stuff. Tell us down below. Mr. Mac, what do we got coming in from the interwebs?
All right, I'm still getting caught up here, but I do have a question from our good friend Gig.
Giggy.
Who we got to meet at a Classic.
And here in our store.
Yeah, in the store. I got to meet him at Classic, but yes, he did come to the store as well. He's trying to figure out a way to soften the leather on an economy sporran, which is a little bit of a stiffer leather. Any help with that? And he says thank you in advance.
Any way to soften the leather on an economy
I guess
sporran?
if he was here in the room and this was a conversation, my first question is, why would you want to soften it?
Yeah, because he wants it to feel more softer, like a nicer sporran, maybe.
Yeah. I have one sporran that is soft, and I don't like the way it hangs, to be honest. So that's where I'm getting a little stuck.
I'm also assuming when he says economy sporran, he means our economy sporran.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
yes.
not
Stands to reason.
A Pakistani economy sporran where it's going to be, like chipboard leather kind of thing. So for that, I have zero advice. I don't know what's going to happen if you put oil in it and that kind of thing. Who knows? It could fall apart. For ours, the economy sporran, it's a cheaper leather, hence the term economy sporran. So I don't know if there is a great way to make it softer or make it more pliable. You could try leather conditioner. I don't think it would necessarily hurt it. Try leather conditioner and, work at it a little bit and, beat it up real good. But yeah, Mac, can you think of anything leather-wise to soften like lesser quality
Yeah,
leather. Still reasonable quality, but lesser quality leather.
I'm concerned about with that leather. I'm concerned about it putting anything on it to make it almost go the opposite direction of it becoming
Drying it out.
and becoming too brittle. Then,
Okay.
Right.
would be where my concern is. I think just over time it will relax a little bit. It will loosen, and the more you work it, it's
Manipulate it a little bit.
yeah.
Try using it as a baseball glove at your kid's baseball game, maybe.
Yeah. Put a baseball in it and wrap it in rubber bands.
Use one hand, wax on, wax off.
Exactly.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on
Not in particular.
softening
No.
a stiffer leather sporran?
Never really attempted to change the leather quality on a sporran before.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really down to the actual leather itself. And, how to make a cat look like less of a cat, more like a dog. It's a cat, dude. So I'm not sure I have a great answer for you, Gag. I love you, but I'm not sure I have a great answer for you. All right, Mr. Ian.
All right, I've got a question here from Matt Horne. He wants to know, what is the durability difference between standard tartan fabric and tweed tartan fabric? Will the tweed get worn faster than standard fabric? I know that each mill's tartan and tweed fabric are different, but is there a general consensus on lifespan, assuming the fabric is taken care of similarly?
So, what's the difference between, or how hard wearing is tweed versus worsted wool for, a tartan kilt? I would start by saying tweed isn't just tweed. You can't just say tweed and go, oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Tweed, there's an entire freaking spectrum. Everything from, 18 ounce, heavyweight, hard wearing, made from coarser, type of wool, meant for outerwear and that kind of thing, all the way down to very, very fine, very soft wool, lightweight, made for suiting kind of fabrics and things like that. Almost like cashmere kind of feel to it. Like there's some very, very rough tweeds and some very, very soft, like really, really nice stuff. So it really depends on what you're looking at. So one is going to be, the harder wearing stuff is almost bulletproof. I mean, it's meant to be worn as outerwear in thicket, and get, burrs and all kind of things like ripping at it as you're walking through the brush. Whereas the tweed suiting fabric, obviously not. When it comes to tweed tartans, or even the tweeds that some of the tartan mills make, like Loch Heron and Martin Mills. I actually spoke to Martin Mills today in looking this one up before, because I wanted to have a little bit of knowledge going into it. For their tweed, they actually use woolen wool versus worsted wool. So the quick explanation on that is worsted wool is a different type of fiber, and it's done differently and twisted differently. It's a little bit tighter, and it's generally speaking, there's no real space inside of the twisted fibers. It's really, really tight. Woolen wool, the way that it's done, there's actually essentially, think of it as air pockets inside of there. It's done so that it has more insulative qualities. It traps your body heat and the air that produced from your body inside the fibers, which keep it warmer, but that space makes it feel or look a little spongier than worsted woolen cloth. So when you're looking at Martin Mills Cheviot wool or Cheviot range, or what's their other one? CHE and CGE are the two codes. Cairngorm. There you go. Cairngorm and Cheviot ranges. They are a little bit spongier from a tactile perception. They feel a little bit spongier or lighter than they look. So when you actually, but when you pick it up, it feels lighter, because you're like, wow, really? This feels thicker. It looks heavier, but it feels lighter. It's because it has air inside of it a little bit as well. Whereas tartan cloth designed for kilts is worsted wool. It's harder, a little bit harder wearing, and it's generally speaking than that stuff. And it's a harder finish. It feels flatter. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Now he's specifically asking about tartan tweeds, and you were talking about tweed ranges. So I know, I have Loch Heron's Old Scotland tweed, and that does feel harder
Coarse.
wearing and coarser.
Yes.
So I would imagine, I would consider, I mean, I haven't fully put it through its paces necessarily, but I've worn it a lot, and I feel it's holding up as well as a worsted wool, typical tartan kilt.
Yes.
But I wonder if that was on purpose because it was designed for kilts.
Correct. Now take that one and mentally compare the old Scotland tweed to like their Patriot tweed and the other ones that are like really soft. Those feel closer to Martin Mills, kind of, spongier-ish, for lack of it. It's not like spongy like you're going to sop up water kind of thing.
And Martin Mills has that Buchanan antique, which is also softer than that Loch Heron.
Yeah, all of Martin Mills are going to be a little bit softer. Loch Heron uses the British wool. It's a little bit scratchier than the stuff that Martin Mills is using. So it depends. It really depends on like the type of sheep and what they're sourcing for their wool. Different breeds of sheep are going to have different I'll say qualities of wool for different purposes. I mean, if you're living on the Outer Isles and the Hebrides, and you need a jacket, obviously tweed is keeps the sheep warm out there. It's a good hard wearing type of cloth, and it's great for keeping you warm. It would be too scratchy to wear against your skin. So it's not the question you asked is simple but not easy to answer because of the breadth of types of tweed and feelings of tweed and things like that. It's not just a straight yes, no, this one's better, this one's worse type answer. There really is a full-on spectrum of what types of tweeds are good for what types of things.
Do you think it'd be fair to say, though, that if it is one of those softer, spongier ones, it might be a little bit more delicate if you're hard wearing, if you're wearing it for a mud run, you're wearing it for things you don't typically wear kilts for, admittedly, but some people do.
Right.
It is going to not necessarily hold up as long. But if it is that harder wearing, thorn proof or something like that, that it would hold up as well, at least comparable to worsted wool.
Yes, I would say that. I would say it would probably hold a pleat worse, or not hold a pleat as good as like kilt cloth or worsted wool cloth. From an aspect of the fibers aren't as tight and aren't as, there's a little bit of air in there. So when you're trying to press it down, it's not taking the crease the same way. Same thing with the outerwear stuff. It's just a harder, it's aggressive. It doesn't want to take a crease. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it would crease as well. Therefore you'd have to iron it more often and that kind of thing. I don't know about wearing the harder. I'll give you here's the other non-committal answer. If you made a kilt from jacket tweed, from like Isla Woolen Mill, or from like some Harris tweed or something like that, I guarantee you it would be as hard wearing, if not harder wearing, than worsted wool. It's going to be heavier. It's meant to be bulletproof. If you make it from lightweight suiting material, it's not going to be as hard wearing as kilt or as a regular tartan cloth. So it falls. Tartan cloth falls within the range of the other for how hard wearing I think it would be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. I hope that helps. Probably not, but I hope it does.
Yeah. You should be a politician, though. You completely evaded the question.
No, politicians say, I'm going to get to your question in a second. Then they answer a different question and then never get back to the original question. That's the political answer. So, Mac, what else do we got out there?
All right. So we have Welsh Hemingway. And first off, he did apologize for his first question he put up there. He's using voice to talk with an accent, so it didn't go through as he wanted to the first time. So he did do it again. He said, "Hey guys, love the show. Can't watch today on the way to pick up his daughter, but can you suggest an outerwear that's not traditional and that's not a bomber jacket? Something for casual days or even a night out to a casual restaurant. His current go-to is a cable knit sweater or a grandfather's shirt with a grandfather shirt under it. He said he does have a peak coat, but he sweats like an animal wearing that."
Yeah.
What are the Mac? What's the jacket I'm thinking? The like Lonsdale makes them. It's the shorter cut, lighter weight, not like bomber jacket, the thick ones, but
like an Ike jacket type thing.
Not Ike jacket. It's not military. It's more mod. Eric would know the name of it. Harrington jacket. That's it. Harrington jacket. That's what I'm suggesting.
Is that a brand or a style?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's actually a style. It's basically think of like in the 80s, the jackets, they're a little bit shorter cut in the body. They have like the stretchy knit around the bottom and around the cuffs.
Okay.
And it's like a lighter weight, kind of like cotton twill or something like that. A lot of times they're lined in like a Royal Stewart or something. There's a brand in England called Lonsdale. They do a lot of that stuff. It's very mod kind of culture. So yes, I would say a Harrington jacket would be my choice for a shorter cut jacket. Lightweight, great for spring, fall, that kind of weather. You won't sweat like a pig in it.
I'm originally from the Lonsdale area.
I need to drink more if he's going to have these bad jokes. All right.
I like the little hee in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson.
We are trying scotches after all.
Yeah, I need Chamon. All right. Chamor? I don't know. So, Ian, what jacket would you suggest for our friend?
I'm of a mindset to not overthink it. The things that I often wear with a kilt, they're not often kilt specific purchases. I have a blue synthetic. It's kind of like a hiking type of a jacket that I often wear. It's not particularly shortcut. I don't know that it's a perfect option, but it works for me.
The one thing I would say is if you're going to get a jacket that's a little bit longer, try to find one that has the zip up from the bottom as well as down from the top. So like the two-way zipper. That way, if it is a little bit long on you, like if you're wearing a peacoat, you just leave the bottom button or the bottom two buttons undone, and it can actually go out a little bit to accommodate everything, and you can move a little bit better. If it is like a snowboard jacket or something like that, then try to find one that zips up from the bottom because you can zip it up so you have a little bit more movement, a little more space
Get to your sporran
for your
easier.
sporran and stuff like that. Exactly. That would be my other thoughts
Yeah.
for a jacket for him.
Yeah.
Mac, do you have any other thoughts?
I'm fat and I'm always warm, so I just go with a hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were doing casual wear, so I'm just going a zip up hoodie.
So all fat guys must just wear hoodies. They can't wear
No,
jackets.
I'm not saying I prefer zip up because again, get too friggin' warm.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have a leather jacket that looks pretty good with several of my kilts, but I bought it in college, and I can't zip that up. It looks okay with an open look, but if it is cold enough that I want to zip it up, it's not happening.
Yeah, I would say a motorcycle jacket. Those tend to be cut a little bit shorter as well.
Yeah.
So that could possibly work for it, but that's going to be warm because it's leather and you're trapping the heat in. Meant to be ridden on cold days and absorb the wind. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good smattering of suggestions for you. I hope one of those helped. Mr. Mac, was that you?
That was me.
All right,
It was Mac. Next question here is from Robert Riggs. He says he's attending his first Burns night next month and would love to dress formal. Money is tight, so I'm looking at a semi-traditional kilt. Would a Prince Charlie look okay, or would that be a bit much? How formal could one go with a semi-traditional?
That cookie makes a lot more noise than I thought it was going to. I apologize about that. I just couldn't get my hands off the freaking cookies. So we're talking about Prince Charlie for a Burns night.
For Burns night, semi-traditional kilt, are they compatible? Was the main thrust of the question.
Sure. So I would start by saying this. If you're going to a Burns night, oftentimes Burns nights are not really that formal. Most Burns nights that I've either been invited to or attended or heard about or seen tend to be more semi-formal, smart day wear kind of environment than formal. So first thing I would say is check with the host. Double check on the formality of the event. If it doesn't state so on the invitation, I would ask, is this formal or is this semi-formal, or is it day wear? Will a Prince Charlie be too much? Or just ask the host, hey, what are you wearing? Or ask other guests if you know somebody else is going, what are you wearing? Kind of compare notes to see how other people are going to be dressed at the things, so you're not overdressed or underdressed for the event. That said, can he wear, if it was, we'll say it's formal.
Yep, and
So-
black ties specifically.
Black tie specifically because he said Prince Charlie. So in that instance, can you wear a semi-traditional kilt? Semi-traditional is our model. It's polyviscose fabric, but it's made to look from outward appearances more like a traditional kilt. I would say, yeah, that would be fine. I wouldn't do a casual kilt or something with wider pleats. I wouldn't do an acrylic kilt or something with a real bold color that you can tell isn't wool, but it's something that feels more like a traditional kilt, air quotes. I think would work fine for it.
Yeah.
Ian.
I would agree with that. Because the semi-traditional kilt has a lot of the trappings of a traditional kilt, your fringe, your narrower pleats relative to a casual kilt or many acrylic kilts, buckles and straps, that you do have the leverage. That I think that the PC jacket looks okay as long as everything fits well and looks sharp. But yeah, I'm leery of whether or not PC is appropriate for the event. You know, if you're going to go to this event in pants, would you wear a tuxedo? If the answer is yes, then a PC is appropriate. If it's more like, no, I'd probably wear a nice suit, then probably think about the Argyll jacket or maybe the tweed, depending on, what the level of formality of the event is.
Yeah, it's for the most part, Argyll kind of splits the difference. I'm beginning to go to my tweeds just more often than Argylls, even though, and just kind of that, it just feels more natural and good for a broader range of events than an Argyll. It feels black. It feels a little bit too dressy sometimes, but it's not a PC, so it's not quite dressy enough. I don't know. I tend to gravitate towards the tweeds.
Yeah, I do too. I host Burns night at my house for friends that are mostly not Scottish, and it's just a fun excuse to get together. I wear a kilt, but this is as dressed up as I've ever gotten for this event, and I'm overdressed compared to everybody else. But, it's just at our house. It's nothing too formal.
I noticed I was never invited.
No, and most of the people who come don't even own kilts at all. There's one other guy who I made a kilt for him, and he wears it, and I think it's the only time of the year he wears it.
So what you're saying is I can set up a booth. There's fresh customer base there.
Yeah,
so you can a booth right in your living room.
You could potentially sell all of 3 or 4 kilts.
Sweet. Yes, making that bank. All right, Mr. Mac.
All right, so we have Mad Pup 1 UK asking a question regarding designing a tartan.
Okay.
Could a person take a clan tartan, keeping the set size, and then just changing the colors around? Would that be considered a new tartan?
It depends on how many colors you change, what you change them to, and or how big of a bank account you have to fight with the Scottish Tartan Register. There's one. Who was that? The Tilted Kilt, registered a tartan that essentially looks like Royal Stewart with like 2 stripes reversed or something very, very, very simple. And I was shocked. I remember being shocked when it was registered, and this is probably going back 10 years or something now. I remember being shocked.
It's probably been 10 years since there's been an open tilted kilt.
Fair. But I remember being shocked, like, wow, they really let them register that. It looks that close to Royal Stewart from like the layman's perspective, from 10 feet. I'm looking at it going, yeah, that's Royal Stewart.
Yeah.
So that to me, hell no, that shouldn't have ever happened. Would it happen today? Probably not. Now, if you took, so the point is, if you take a tartan and you have 2 minor stripes and you reverse them, no, that's not really different enough in my estimation. But if you took let's say Royal Stewart, and you made the red section yellow, yep, it's a whole new tartan. Like it's obviously inspired by Royal Stewart, but it's a new tartan. If it's bright freaking yellow, yes, that's different. If you took a tartan, I'm trying to think of a tartan that's in here, but if you took a tartan like gun and you reverse the colors, you end up with something, like Flower of Scotland. So yeah, you can do that and have a whole new tartan. That's how, for those, here, that's essentially what I'm referring to is the House of Edgar. Way back when, I remember Bill Whelan telling me the story, House of Edgar, one of the employees flipped the blue and the green in the gun tartan, wove an entire, a couple bolts of the thing, and they looked at it and went, whoops, that's wrong. but it looks good, so let's sell it and give it a name. So that's literally how the Flower of Scotland tartan came to be. Ian.
I think you're definitely walking a line, though, where if you're just taking an existing tartan, because it's your clan tartan, but you wanted to create one for your local club or what have you, might depend on who at the register is reviewing your application that day, how they're feeling. It's hard to like give a specific valuation on how different it has to be. It's not like you can look at, that's 52% different. And it's got to be at least 55% different. So, you can't put numbers on it like that.
Agreed.
There's some subjectivity here for sure.
Agreed. I would also say it kind of matters what you're trying to call it, and if they feel like you're trying to get away with something. In the comments or in the registration notes, if you say this tartan, using my Royal Stuart yellow example, this tartan is called the Yellow Stuarts for my branch of the family. It is inspired by the Royal Stuart tartan with the red replaced by yellow. If those are your notes, I think the register might be like, okay, he's being forthright in it. And just to point this out as well, Maxwell their tartan has green, red, and black. It's mostly red with a little bit of green and black accents. There's a Maxwell Hunting where they reversed the red and the green. Mm-hmm. So there is historical precedent within clan tartans of just reversing colors and giving it a different name.
It's worth noting here, though, that it depends on what category of tartan you're trying to register it as. If you try to just flip some colors and say, okay, this is now the Stuart yellow version, and I want to consider this an official Stuart yellow tartan as a clan tartan, or say, well, what is your connection? Are you the clan chief of Clan Stuart?
Yeah.
You don't just get to declare these things because your last name is Stuart or because your great, 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 great grandmother was a Stuart. But if you are trying to register it as the, Thompson, Jim personal tartan, then they might give you a little bit more flexibility on that point.
Agreed.
Or calling it a fashion tartan for this, that, or the other reason.
Yeah, and I am 100% in my brain envisioning the scene from The Office where Michael comes out, I declare Stuart Yellow exists. So, yes, have fun editing that. I declare Stuart Yellow exists. So, I think the register is kind of, I'll say this, the registration, Scottish Tartan Register is kind of evolving in their rules, in what they allow, what they don't allow. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'll kind of leave it there.
Fair
All right.
enough.
Very good. Mr. Mac.
That was
you.
It was.
Mr. Ian.
All right.
I can't pay that much of attention to who says what.
I've got a question here from George Labor, or Labor? George Labor. I'm going with George Labor. What's the best way to get kilt-related gifts for Christmas, i.e. beg, ask, cry, etc., LOL?
All right. You have, let's do this. A, we're not going to just say USA Kilts. We're not going to just say kilts. We're going to say, here's how I would, essentially drop hints or, ask for certain things for a Christmas gift for me. I would start out by, if the company has Christmas sale posts on social media. So, hey, they're running a 20% off sale on X. Maybe tag, the gift giver in the comments. Like, hey, wife, here's a thing that would be pretty cool for Christmas for me. Or send a link directly to the thing or to the sale and be like, hey, if you still need thoughts or still need, things to pick me up for Christmas, here's a good idea. If anyone else asks you like what to get for me, because I am one of those people that is hard to buy for. I don't buy much throughout the year, but the things that if I see something I want, I'm like, oh, I want that. I'll just get that thing because I don't buy that much for myself all that often. I have what I need. So, I have my health, I have food, I have, people here that I like. So at least tolerate. So I would say, dropping hints that way. The other one I would say is if you want a more direct, here you go, here's the thing. I would check if the company in question has a wish list function on their website. If they do, a lot of times you can email those wish lists. So like on our website, add things to your cart, configure them, and then you have to have an account. Obviously, you log in, you have an account. You add things to your wish list, and then you can send that wish list to somebody. So that's one way to do it, that, they get essentially the sizes and all the products and the things exactly the ones you want. And you're not worried about like, oh, they picked the green one, not the blue one, or they did, this wrong size or that wrong thing. So Ian, what are your thoughts for?
Yeah, and I do think the kilt world can be a bit intimidating for folks that are new to it. Whether it's they've watched our show and they're excited about it, but they're very nervous about getting the right thing or getting the right sizing. And likewise, the people who love you, who if they're not kilt people themselves, might be a little intimidated themselves. So don't rule out a gift card. Gift card's a great option.
I like calling people kilt people, by the way.
Yeah,
you're a kilt person.
Yeah, I mean, the kilt community. If they're not members, it can be intimidating. And I think this is a great strategy in general, not just for kilts, but for supporting small businesses like ours, like other kilt companies like Untitled Kilts, who also make their stuff in America. But I know one thing I do every year, I have a half brother and his wife and 3 kids that live out in Illinois, and I've never lived close to them, so I don't know them super well. But what I did is I found a bookstore that's in their area that's unique to their area. There's only one. And every year I call that bookstore and I call them up and like, hey, can you mail gift certificates to my brother and his family? And it's a great way to support a local business, not local to me, but local to the people I care about. You can do that with kilts. Say, hey guys, get me a USA Kilts gift card, or whatever the thing you're into is, and likewise do this for your family members. Maybe they're into something weird and esoteric that they're really excited about, but is also like way too intimidating for you. You're like, I don't know anything about this world. A gift card, they'll know what to do with it, and it'll feel more personal than a Amazon gift card or a Visa gift card that you can use anywhere, but is also difficult to use on a lot of websites because I got a $50 gift card and I want a $150 thing, but it won't take 2 forms of cards. So
no, that's a good point. I like the I like the small business thing. I like acknowledging that people won't necessarily know. I'll point something else out as well. If you have an item, let's say you want to buy a premier, $700 premier kilt, and no one's going to give you, a $700 gift for Christmas, but your brother may give you a $100 gift card, your wife may give you a $400 gift card, your mother-in-law may give you a $100 gift card, and then bam, you have a kilt. So if you have a particular item, and whether that's again kilts or something else, if you have a particular item you want, tell everyone, I want gift cards to this one store, and then form like Voltron and get the cool, big, expensive thing by, kind of pooling all the gift card resources of your family members. But the other thing you said that I'm 100% believe in is, shopping small business as much as possible, not just because we are a small business, and not saying you have to shop with us, but
I kind of do.
You should. Yes, I agree. But the bigger and weirder the world gets, the more shopping with your dollars matters. Voting with your dollars, essentially. I want this store to exist. I want to support this group. I want to support that group. I want to support this company. So vote with your dollars. Buy things from companies that you like, or buy gift cards to companies that you like, because that's how we beat the AI overlords. That's how cool companies stay around and stay cool companies, is by supporting cool companies. So like all the stuff that I was telling my family's little what's the gift exchange thing that we do?
Pollyanna.
Yeah, Pollyanna thing. Yep. And then the things from my wife and from my mom. It's just like, here's the stores I want you to get something from me, from either a gift card or a couple different item ideas, just to make sure that I'm supporting companies that I want to exist.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is very, very, very important. Period.
Indeed.
Yes. Cool. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now and return to your regularly scheduled kilt program. All right. That was you?
That was me, but should we get to that one?
Yeah, we'll do that one next.
Okay. So we've got a question from Michael A. Hudson. Would you consider doing a USA Kilts logo, kilt pin, and or cap badge?
Would we consider doing a USA Kilts kilt pin, cap badge, belt buckle, accessory bits.
I mean, nobody else is going to do it.
They better not. Thank you, trademark that finally came through after a full year of waiting. The Mac, how do you feel about that? About wearing? I realize as I'm staring at you how asinine this question actually sounds. Asking you, how do you feel about representing companies on your clothing, Mac? How do you would you ever wear like a hat with?
I don't know.
Would you ever dress like you're a race car driver, which is logos and patches everywhere?
It's free advertising for us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have no problem, especially if it's a company or a product that I use or like. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. I've always felt kind of weird about it in some way, like we're not cool enough to sell stuff with our logo on it, kind of thing.
I don't know.
Cool enough.
I got a whole production room of ladies that are waiting for women's USA Kilts t-shirts and sweatshirts. In fact, zip-up hoodies would be great to have.
Coming any day now, Matt.
Hold your breath.
We're gonna go rogue and we're gonna go create our own brand.
That would be a violation of trademark.
I really don't want to have to sue my own employees, guys. All right, Ian, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Or it's overdue, if anything.
It's fair. It's fair. All right.
Didn't we
cool
already have
logo.
a sporran?
Yeah, it's on our sporran. We have a sporran. Has the lion heads on it. Neither of us have it on today.
Of course, the one
We
day.
did a different day sporran once that had a central kind of circle with a single lion, too.
Mm-hmm.
Did we?
It was never available for purchase.
That was,
but
I think we did as a
Lucas
as a
had it
sample.
for a while. and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
currently
It was the
own
2-pocket sporran for firearms or something that we did.
No,
No?
it was just like the military and the Welsh day sporrans we used
Just
to
a
do.
logo on it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think he wanted that, though. He specifically ordered it and made me order it.
Gotcha.
Uncle, okay. Yes, Lucas beat me up all the time. All right. This is what we are going to have as the question of the day. So, Adam, Patrick, when he is. There you go. Would you be interested in USA Kilts logo, cap badge, kilt pin, belt buckle? If so, let us know in the comments. I'm curious, or what other products would you want our logo on that you would actually buy? Not just stuff I'd like to see it on the side of a building. Like, no, the things that you would actually buy from us. Tell me what you would want to see our logo on. Yes, that's the question. All right, we have a few minutes left for the middle of the show. So, Mac, do one from you, then we'll do the Kilt Ambassador of the Month.
Alrighty, so we have Bonnie asking, is there such a thing as a woman's sporran?
Yes, sure.
Technically, maybe.
Kind of, not really. Yes and no. Historically speaking, just the sporran's just the belt pouch. It's something you just it's literally you wear it on your belt and you shove coins and stuff in there. It's just a big pocket. So historically, sure. Let's say there is. The traditionally, contemporarily, meaning like 1920s through today, is there such thing as a woman's sporran? 1920s? No, not really. It's, woman would carry a handbag or a purse and, wear a kilted skirt or something like that. They wouldn't have a sporran like that looks like this worn with a kilt. So, no. That said, for our mini kilts, we kind of play around with it because a lot of women are asking us either at festivals or in store or whatever, like, hey, I don't want to carry a sporran when when I want to go to a Celtic festival, I want to go to Ren Fair, and I want to have, a beer and a turkey leg. I don't want to carry a purse with all this stuff. I want to buy a sporran. But women's frames tend to be a bit smaller than men's, so a man-sized sporran looks a bit big,
Bit chunky.
for a smaller frame of a woman. So what we started doing was, we said, okay, let's take the kids' sporrans and just give a longer sporran chain. Boom. So an extra large kids or a medium-sized kids sporran works well size-wise for women. It's not going to have the same carrying capacity as a full freaking, overnight bag that some women carry, or even a tiny bag. It's going to be minimalist. You may get your phone, your keys, and a money clip and some lipstick in
A lot
there.
of phones might even be a stretch.
Yeah, that's true as well.
That's where the bra pocket comes in, I guess.
My wife has the same thing. End of the day, like all the things fall out when she takes her bra off. No, but a lot of women don't want to carry their stuff at festival. Like, look at the Kramers. Nancy Kramer. Nope, not carrying anything. Tony, you're carrying my stuff. I don't want to carry your stuff. Nope, you're carrying my stuff.
If you watch carefully, you can spot her in the upcoming segment.
Ooh, very, very good. Yeah, so I would say, yes, women could wear sporrans. I would say it just has to fit with the frame and the size of the person. Don't go too big. A kid's large or extra large kind of sporran tends to work reasonably well. One tip I would also give is maybe wear it off to the side. Bring the full shot in there again. Maybe wear it off to the side. So wearing it on the hip a little bit more looks a little bit more feminine than, right middle of the crotch.
The women that I've seen wear the smaller, more kid-style sporrans, I often see them wear it a little on the side and on the hip.
Yeah. So...
But certainly women who are in pipe bands are wearing the same sporrans that the men are, but it is a very unisex kind of a look.
And uniform look, period. For pipe band, it's more important that you're wearing the kit of the band than it is personal expression kind of thing. Now, drummers... bass drummers will wear their sporran off to the side because the bass drum is sitting there. They don't want to hit on the sporran.
Yeah.
So there are ways to break the rules in specific circumstances, but for the most part, no.
And there are some sporran companies out there who have toyed around with women's sporrans, dealing with more women's themes and making them a little smaller. I've never seen anything I'm super excited about though, so there's never something we carried. But
I've seen. The one thing I saw that's kind of interesting that kind of relates is a sporran handbag. I've seen sporran-shaped handbags for women that are kind of cool.
Yeah.
We don't think we've ever really been asked for them.
Yeah.
Like, directly.
Not
but
specifically in that way.
I've seen that they exist.
Yeah.
So I'm curious that more women don't ask for it.
Yeah.
But
They
interesting.
do ask us for women's themed sporrans, though.
Yeah, but they want to wear it on the body. They're not looking for it for a shoulder
handbag,
bag. Correct.
yeah.
Exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
I hope that helps. All right. Now, since we are at midpoint of the show, we're going to bring you our Kilt Ambassador of the Month.
Ever feel like you're an analog person living in a digital world? Well, that's how our ambassador, Jeff Plavier, describes himself. Jeff is a big lover of history and, of course, Celtic culture. The former comes from his experiences with his dad, and the latter, his experiences with his kids. Jeff Plavier lives in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania with his sister, Joan, and he has 2 adult children and a granddaughter. His interest in history started with his father's experiences in New Guinea and the Philippines during World War II. Jeff recorded and edited several of those stories, and they're now featured on the US 11th Airborne website if you want to check those out. For Jeff, this was a way to honor his father, as well as many veterans of the greatest generation that he had come to know over the years. Pretty cool. Jeff is, of course, also an avid serial kilter, and that passion came through his kids. As he explains it, "My kids attended high school in West Milford, New Jersey, known as the heart of the New Jersey Highlands. They played in the West Milford Highlander Marching Band, wearing the Loud McLeod tartan. At band competitions, when other schools were playing Star Wars themes or Beatles melodies, our kids marched onto the field with brass, bagpipes, and drums playing Scotland the Brave, Black Bear, and the 79th Farewell to Gibraltar." Hearing the pipes and seeing that tartan blazing, well, Jeff basically fell in love with the culture. He says he can't hear Amazing Grace without getting misty-eyed. I can relate. Jeff is in his 60s now, so reenacting is a bit harder. He's shifted his considerable energy and passion into things like hiking and collecting vintage Scottish regimental badges. But his biggest focus of all is volunteering with the Celtic Cultural Alliance in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Those are the fine folks who bring us the annual Celtic Classic Festival, as you may know. I have a lot of respect for Jeff's positive attitude. As he put it to me, nearing what some would consider retirement age, I feared I might have lost the connection to the past that living history events had given me. However, kilts and exploring Celtic culture keeps me connected to history in a wonderful way. And it's more than just that. Wearing the kilt is a rather awesome blend of individual expression and connectivity to a community of like-minded, yet diverse people. I enjoy encouraging everyone to take it up and connect in person and online. We couldn't agree more, Jeff. Thank you for your interest in all this, and thank you for sharing that energy with all of us around you in the community.
Here's to our friend Jeff, our Kilt Ambassador of the Month. Jeff is a very, very nice guy.
He is.
Local-ish kind of to us. See him up at Celtic Classic. He does a lot of stuff for the Celtic Cultural Alliance. Gives of his time. Really, really nice guy, nice human. Like Jeff a lot.
I agree.
Indeed. Cool. All right. Ian.
Going to me?
Why don't we go to you for one?
All right. So I've got a question here from Michael A. Hudson. He wants to know, would you entertain different color leather straps for 5-yard wool and 8-yard wool kilts, such as tan, brown, and purple?
No, not purple. No, absolutely not.
What about a plum?
No. Nothing with the P. The purple plum.
You apparently don't know how they tan leather.
I don't know if they do that anymore, but yes. Yes, we're getting closer to the different color leather straps. We have a good supplier for it now. Somebody may just have been a little lazy and, well, I shouldn't say lazy, but scattered in the last month. Those straps may or may not be sitting on my desk beside my keyboard to remind me, and then got covered in a pile of papers, which is also on my desk. So, yes, soon we should have tan, like it's very, very similar to our, like the stress tan.
But isn't distressed.
It's not distressed, correct. Those, it turns out, did not do well for kilt. But
They're a little soft for, that leather's a little soft for straps.
yeah. But a tan, very, very similar in color to that. A brown, similar to a darker brown, like a dark chocolate brown. And then, the regular black. Those won't, the tan and brown straps will not be embossed. We looked at that. Nope, it's not going to be embossed.
Part of the reason it's taken us so long.
Yep, we wanted to have them embossed. We wanted to have them basically the same straps as our normal wool kilts.
The embossing on the straps is a really cool signature of ours. So I get
Yeah.
why you didn't want to get away from that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the leathers that we use for the brown and for the dark and for the distressed tan, we tried making leather straps in it and embossing them, and they didn't hold up. Like it literally, like it wore way too fast because the amount of stress and maneuvering you have to do on those straps to put them through the buckles. So yep, can't do it. It's not going to look good after the third, fourth wearing. So I don't want shoddy looking product out there in the world after, a few wearings. So nope, but tan and brown and potentially maybe some different colors of metal.
Okay. I thought you were about to hint at a purple for a second there.
Yes, Ian, that was the big reveal. Was I said no purple? Then surprise, purple. No,
Well,
no.
You left me hanging there.
no. I will literally
Okay.
kill and tan Barney
Okay.
to make purple straps.
So you are doing purple then? Is
No,
what
I
I'm
love
hearing.
Barney.
Oh,
I'm not going to
gotcha.
No. Can't do it.
I love you, you love me.
Fair enough.
So, indeed, how do you feel about different color straps? Let's make this a real question, like a value-driven question for everybody else. How do you feel about tan or brown straps on a kilt, and or like brass buckles or the gunmetal finish versus chrome finish for the buckles?
Very pro, because I do like to wear brown leathers more than I like to wear black leathers. So it's nice to have the kilt straps match that at least a little bit better. Black is nice because it's neutral enough that even if you are wearing brown leathers, but you've got black straps, it's not the end of the world, but I do like a better match.
Here's the question. Do you feel it, let's say, pigeonholes you into having only casual or brown leather bits with the outfit? Meaning, let's say you have your Kilts and Culture kilt you have on there
But
now,
you do have black straps on.
which have black straps. If this had tan leather straps, and you said, I want to go to a black tie affair, and you wanted to wear this kilt, would you feel a little weird wearing it with black accessories,
Yeah.
knowing that these are tan straps on the side?
If if I'm a one kilt owner, I'm just gonna wear it. You know, I don't have a lot of options. But given that I do own a lot of kilts, I would lean towards a kilt that has black straps already, for sure.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I don't like personally about the tan straps on a kilt. Now, I did it on my Grand Canyon kilt. I did the brown straps, but that's the only thing that I don't like, or tan straps. It's the only thing I don't like about tan straps, or something that is like, it's definitely like the brown, you could almost get away with black. You're thinking that it was black in a dark room. It's that dark. But the tan, it feels...
Definitely feels casual.
Yeah, it feels more casual. So I don't like that you can't just exchange it kind of thing.
I think if you're the type of person who is trying to buy one kilt and have it be your only kilt, black is definitely the safer option, especially if you think you're going to wear it at different levels of dress. That said, I don't get dressed up that often. Like, this is about as dressed up as I get. Maybe I'll throw on the tweed jacket to go with. Right. So I don't generally have this problem. Like, I've been working here over 11 years. I've been a kilt wearer for over 16. I've never owned a PC and don't really see myself buying one. I just don't go to events that require them.
Right. Now, would you have a dark brown sporran on now. If the kilt had tan straps with a dark brown sporran, or vice versa, you wanted to wear a distressed, lighter tan sporran with dark brown straps, would that feel a little weird? I
don't fuss too much about that. I've worn this exact sporran with a kilt that has tan straps on it.
Okay.
I didn't futz over it too much.
Okay. So it depends on your level of anal retentivity.
Retentosity?
Yes, indeed. The anal retentiveness is I don't know, making up words.
Now what you need to figure out, Rocky, is those, like, remember the belts that were black on one side and tan on the other side? You need to figure
reversible kilt belt.
Yeah. How do you...
Reversible kilt straps? I don't even know how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know either, but...
They'd have to have, like, a little, like, metal pivot joint.
Yeah.
That would break. That would not hold up.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, usually with that type of joint, you kind of pull, twist, and then release.
Yeah.
Pulling to get the tension on your kilt would be enough to pull that.
Yeah.
Not that it would spin on you while wearing it, but I would think it would break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hate all this.
Because at this point, you're just talking like do like some kind of two-tone.
No. The actual answer is buy two kilts. Same exact tartan, same exact measurement, same sett versus stripe. Actually, no, 4 kilts. One to the sett in black, one to the sett in black, or one to the stripe in black, and then one to the sett and one to the stripe in tan.
So if you're one of these lunatics who's buying all 13 of our A250 tartans, now you need to get 52 kilts.
I kind of love this plan. I kind of love this a lot now. All right. Very good. I hope that helps. Mr. Mac.
Alrighty. So we have Sean asking, what jacket would we recommend for a junior formal prom?
Junior formal prom.
Junior formal. Okay.
How formal is a junior formal prom?
They wear tuxedos.
Yeah. So we say juniors in like 11th grade in high school, at least on our side of the pond.
I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah. I would, if it says formal, I'm going to say Prince Charlie.
If you're going to wear a tuxedo, if you're wearing pants, it's usually my rule.
Yep.
Wear the PC if you're going kilt.
Or regulation doublet if you want to be a little fancier.
Okay. What are the chances in 11th graders thinking far enough in advance to get a regulation doublet made?
Understood. I would also say I wouldn't even necessarily buy a Prince Charlie. I would probably rent it.
At that age, yeah.
Yeah. It's 11th grade. You're not mid-20s yet, but you're gonna
fill out a bit.
Yeah, you're gonna fill out.
Even if you don't put on weight, like just your hips, your shoulders.
Yeah.
Widen out a bit.
Yeah, you're not quite done growing usually by that. Around, you're starting to get to the tail end.
You might have stopped growing taller, but
yeah. Also, if you end up going to college, there's a thing called the freshman 10 or the freshman 15. Excuse me. So there's a reason why you put on about 15 pounds in your freshman year of college, it's, you're running around, you're partying, you're drinking, you're doing all kinds of stuff. You're eating things that you shouldn't eat. You're doing things you should drinking things you shouldn't drink.
Going to a buffet 3 times a day if you're going to the food, situation
Exactly.
at your college.
The cafeteria. Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily spend a ton of money on an article of clothing that you may get too big for in 2 years.
And might not have many opportunities to. I mean, maybe you could wear it for your senior prom too. But
Yeah. That's fair.
But if you get swollen, bulk up in your 12th grade year, then you need a new one.
Yeah. So I would say, frankly speaking, I would wear a Prince Charlie and I would probably rent it. I'd buy the kilt because that's more adjustable. And I would say there's a place called Kilt Rental USA.
Not affiliated.
Not affiliated. Mike is the owner, good guy, nice friend of ours. So you can rent everything except the kilt. So I'd say buy the kilt. Frankly, I would say buy a kilt, buy a sporran, buy your kilt hose, the things that are, buy a belt and buckle, the things that you're going to use regularly, and then rent the stuff that you're not really going to use regularly or you don't want to spend the money on yet. So Prince Charlie jacket and vest, maybe a dress sporran you want to rent, but the rest of the stuff, it's all the same. You can get a white tuck shirt and a bow tie, rent the jacket, rent the sporran. You have the hose, you have the flashes, you have the shoes. Just wear a pair of wingtips. You have a kilt. Boom, Bob's your uncle. There you go. Go to the prom.
I don't have an Uncle Bob.
He died. I'm sorry.
I've got Uncle William. I've got Uncle Scott.
Rest Uncle
Tim.
Bob. Yeah. There are some who call him Tim. Yes.
He'd have liked that joke.
There are some who call me Tim.
Monty Python reference. Best freaking stuff ever. All right. I hope that helps. Probably not. Don't know. Don't care. Hope it did. Ian.
So I've got a question here from Noah Barnett. He wants to know what classic Christmas movies would be better if the main character was Scottish. This is an easy one for me because my favorite Christmas movie is a Scottish movie with Scottish actors.
Okay. Mac, we'll bring you in for this one as well. Favorite Christmas movie, and let's expand it. It doesn't have to be the main
It doesn't have to be
character.
favorite either.
All right.
You could be a movie you hate and you're trying to improve it.
I was gonna say, favorite Christmas movie.
All right.
I don't know about that.
Christmas movie, and one of the characters. It doesn't have to be the main character, but an integral character.
So my favorite
Scottish.
Christmas movie already has a kilt in it. Because that's Joy Noel.
Okay.
That's a War I movie.
Okay.
For those following along at home.
The one I was referencing was Anna and the Apocalypse.
But
All classic Christmas movies that we've all
It's
heard of.
it's
It's right up there with Rudolph,
It's a Christmas musical movie set in the zombie apocalypse
as you do.
in Scotland.
and technically, the Grinch had a kilt, and the Jim Carrey one did have
Yeah.
a kilt in that as well.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt. Sicko.
This is actually one of my answers to the question. How great would the Grinch be with a Scottish accent? I'm thinking of the Jim Carrey version too, where he's going through the town and he's just causing problems and just like pushing children out of the way. Get out of the way, you wee numpties. There, you wee bairns.
Yeah, or ball bags. Like we have to give him a Scottish, angry Scottish guy. This is groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah.
So, like a drunk groundskeeper Willie kind of Scottish
I
accent.
think you want a character that's a little bit antagonistic, because I think the Scottish dialect, especially that like very urban, very working class, can be so good at like insults and pushing back.
So maybe the Christmas Story
Okay.
with the dad being more like the
Okay.
from like So I Married an Axe Murderer when he's the father in that.
Shut it!
Put
Yeah.
that version of the dad in that movie.
I got you. So when he's like freaking out about the lamp, not a finger, he says something Scottish.
Yeah.
Okay, and like angry Scottish. I got it. All right.
I'm thinking Kevin McAllister. So we've already got the name going right from Home Alone.
Okay.
And I think that antagonistic nature where he's like teasing the robbers. I'm just seeing him at the top of the stairs going like, "Get after me, you wee numpties." It could be really funny.
I'm seeing the
My Scottish accent is terrible. I'm
It
sorry.
is. It really is. I'm seeing the robbers. I'm seeing the Scottish accent more as the bad guy. I want to see angry bad guy Scots. And I'm disappointed that neither of you, talked about the most famous Christmas movie of all time, which would have the seminal character with a Scottish accent instead of a German accent, Hans Gruber.
Mm-hmm.
Little Die Hard,
Yeah.
little falling out of the sky. Nay.
Colton was right on you with that.
Yes, exactly. Okay, other ones. I'm gonna say Cornelius, Yukon Cornelius.
Okay.
You had like the rootinest tootinest with the gun in the Rudolph movie.
It's also
I
kind
could see.
He become Yosemite Sam. In
Yeah,
there, too.
Well, he goes healed. To bring in Tombstone now, not a Scottish movie, but great, not
Or a Christmas movie either.
Doesn't matter. Tombstone should be in every movie thing that we talk about ever. And if because you're Daisy if you do.
You're Daisy if you do.
All right.
Easy if you there.
No. I do not want Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer, Scottish. No.
What's your favorite line of his from that movie?
You're no Daisy tall.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. Never mind.
Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry. I forgot you were there. You may go now.
Johnny, I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now.
So many great quotes from that movie. All right.
I was
Mac.
thinking I'll be a huckleberry.
I'm your Huckleberry.
I'm your huckleberry.
I'm your thistleberry.
Thistles don't have
Eric was
berries.
right on, or Eric following
Do
along here
Huckles?
was right on that.
Very good. Mac, any others? Rudolph? Yeah. I want to be a dentist. Or that kid.
Oh, what was that?
The year before Santa Claus or
Yeah, you're
something?
without.
Year without Santa Claus, yeah. That one.
I want to stretch.
The Heat Miser.
Say that's where I was gonna go.
The Heat Miser or the Freeze Meister, whatever he's called. The other
Cold
one.
Nation.
Yeah.
I want to get outside the realm of movies here for a second. What about Gritty? He's already got the orange red hair. He doesn't
Looks
talk.
like a Highland Kill, kind of already.
Yeah.
Just give him horns. The Fly, for those who have no idea what we're talking about, the Philadelphia Flyers mascot, Gritty, is just freaking orange. Give him Highland cow horns, one up, one down,
And
of
just-
course.
Yes.
Get whoever voiced groundskeeper Willie to just do his voice. It'll be great.
Well, he doesn't talk at all, so like you have to do it like
doesn't
groundskeeper
talk
Willie squeaks.
Yet.
Yes. Okay. Kind of like this plan.
Yeah.
All right. What other characters could be improved by having an angry Scottish accent? Put them in the comments, Mac. I'm sure you've had people talking in there about that.
There's been a couple. We've
Couple?
got a couple
Some good ones?
like Scrooge.
Scrooge would be good.
Okay.
Muppets Christmas Carol
So-
was mentioned.
For Scrooged, are they saying the Bill Murray character? Because I want to go in a different route with it. I keep Bill Murray because I love Bill Murray. He's great.
It just says Scrooge.
Make the ghosts all have Scottish accents. Because then it's really funny, especially like make Bill Murray's character a little bit more willing. Like, I want to learn. I want to be better. I want to learn to be a better human. But he's so frustrated because he can't understand a gosh darn word they're saying.
So they're all Glaswegian.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any others of note?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Zuzu's pedals. Mary.
Zuzu's pedals! Zuzu! There they are!
That's about my Jimmy Stewart accent. That's all I got.
Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
Sally would be your choice?
No, you got to go Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to go Jack.
I go Oogie Boogie.
What's this?
What's all this thing?
Oh, our Scottish accents are horrible. So we got canceled in Scotland. Who knew? Yes. All right. I like Nightmare Before Christmas. I like that one. That's good. Okay. All right. Put more in the comments. I want to hear more movies that need Christmas movies that need angry Scottish actors. That's what I want to know. All right, Mr. Mack. I almost spilled that all over you. Mr. Mack. Was that you? Yeah, that was Ian. Yeah.
Yep.
So Ian may run into this similar problem. Jennifer's asking, how do you store a great kilt or a kilt to keep safe from moths and just overall storage?
Yeah.
It's kind of an easy one. Cedar chest. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cedar chest.
It's especially a great kilt because it's just folded fabric. I would say if you're out and about with it and you've gotten it, dirty, schmutzy from body oils as well as dirty from outside, clean it before you put it away.
Yeah. If you've been out at the Ren Fair and it's been a muddy day or just hot and muggy and you're sweating like crazy in it.
Exactly. But I would just invest in a cedar chest. Like, they're not $1 billion. Getting your closet lined in cedar, that kind of thing is going to be a lot more, labor intensive and cost more money. But a nice cedar chest, and then you could put your regular wool kilts, folded nicely in there as well. Maybe get one a little bit longer so you can fold it, fold it in thirds and then in half again. So it's still the same, 24-inch or whatever it is length, and lay it in there. But a cedar chest is a great option for that.
If you don't have the space, maybe some kind of cedar blocks or chips or something could be another option too.
Yeah. I would also, say if you don't have the space, then I would say store it inside of a pillowcase. Again, great kilt. It's just a piece of cloth. So fold it up nicely, take an old pillowcase, store it inside of the pillowcase, put some cedar blocks in there with it, or a bag of cedar chips or whatever, and then fold the end of the pillowcase over, or if it's the internal pillowcase, zip it closed. That way it keeps it away from moths and critters that want to eat it.
And I would say the key here too, and I bring this up every time we talk about it, is that moths aren't after the wool. They're after the skin oils and flakes and stuff that you leave on it. So if you wear your great kilt every week, a simple solution like the pillowcase is a good one. But if you only wear it once a year, you like a specific event you wear it to, and you get it all, sweaty and whatnot every time, wash it every time you wear it. Certainly doesn't need it again. If you're going to wear it again in 3 days, doesn't need that every time. But if it's a once a year thing for you, maybe clean it after you're done and then put it away.
Yeah, agreed. And I would also say that you could wet washing a great kilt in a bathtub is a lot easier than dealing with a tailored kilt.
Yeah.
Correct. So I wouldn't be quite as afraid to wet wash a great kilt, because you're just, you wet wash it and then you lay it flat to dry. So you just have to find a nice big long open area where you can lay it out flat.
With a wool light or a very light detergent.
Yeah, exactly. Or even just shampoo.
Yeah.
And then, ironing it, when you're ironing it, you're just ironing. It just takes a little bit more time because you're ironing the entire freaking thing.
Yeah.
But you don't have to iron creases into it. You're actually ironing all the creases out of it. So it's almost easier than ironing a regular kilt.
Yeah.
It's more.
It doesn't require full
mindless.
pressing.
Yeah, indeed. Cool. Hope that helps. All right, that was you, Mr. Ian.
Yep. So what do I got next? We did that one already. Okay, Neil MacInnes. I have a question about the pipers-dress-hunting-sporran. It's a mouthful. I'm confused. For what occasions would one wear the sporran? With a PC jacket? With an Argyll jacket during the evening? I just know that I really like it and want to wear it in the most appropriate manner possible.
Okay. So a piper's hunting sporran, or a pipe band sporran, a piper A sporran, like it depends on who you ask what they're called. It's similar. Go back out to the full screen. It's very similar to what Ian has on here.
It's going to be black.
It would be black, and it would have a cantle on the top, the metal semicircle that goes on the top of the sporran. So typically the leaves are not sticking out at all from the body. They're just like essentially pinned to the body. It's usually 100% leather. It was essentially invented, let's say, by a pipe band or by pipe bands, where they wanted something that looks like a dress sporran, that looks nice and fancy and a lot of chrome on it, but they didn't want the drumming of the tassels. So they said, okay, well, a hunting sporran has, instead, they're not called tassels on a hunting sporran, they're called leaves. They have the 5 leaves kind of either sewn or riveted to the front of the sporran, and then has a nice leather targe, the circle part right in the middle, and then has the semicircle cantle, the metal part on the top. That makes no noise when you're marching, when you're drumming. This isn't drumming. You don't have the tassels slapping around down there. So it was basically developed by pipe bands for marching and that kind of thing, while looking nice. Now, what I will say about it is hunting sporrans are a smart day wear kind of option. They're not dress. They're more of a smart day wear or casual kind of option. A dress-sporran with the fur cantle, with the tassels in the front, or with the metal cantle, fur front, tassels in the front, that is a formal option for wearing a sporran. So this kind of splits the difference. I don't know if it's a good way or not, but it splits the difference. It's neither fish nor fowl. It's kind of like a semi-dress sporran, but not. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of them. We sell them. We have them on the website. We don't sell many of them, but we often sell them to pipe bands.
Or even individual pipers.
Yeah, we're even individual pipers, exactly. But that doesn't mean you can't wear it. It just means that I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
If you like it, if you're like, you know what? I love the way it looks. I love how different it is from everything else that's out there, and I want to wear this, then let's work under that assumption.
Yeah, he said he liked it.
He's going to buy it, or it's already bought, and he just wants to know where to wear it.
Yeah.
I would say it doesn't really fit in with a Prince Charlie, because it's
You don't
not.
think so? I think a cantle makes it a dress sporran. So I feel like it is a Prince Charlie or an Argyll. It's in that range.
I'd say Argyll. I'd even say tweed more than Prince Charlie, because it's leather, it doesn't have tassels, and it doesn't have fur.
Right.
So
Fair.
To me, that dresses down. If you have a leather dress sporran with tassels, then okay, I'd say you can dress it up to Prince Charlie, because you have the cantle and you have the tassels. This doesn't have the tassels; it just has the leaves, and it's all leather. So to me, that knocks it down a peg or two.
Okay.
But it's fancier than other hunting sporrans. So I'd say I kind of still fit it. Argyll, I would give you. Tweed jacket and vest, I would give you. That's kind of where I think the sweet spot for me would be. Okay. If somebody said, you must wear this to my wedding, or you're a groomsman, this is the sporran you have to wear that we're all wearing, you pick your jacket and vest, I'd probably go tweed or Argyll. Thoughts?
I don't think I agree.
That's fine.
I do agree on the general point about not liking it. I think it is a compromise. And sometimes compromises are great. It gives you the best of both worlds. I think this case, though, it feels like it's for neither world for me. That being said, I think the pipe band point is right on point, because you want to dress sporran for a particular look. Maybe you're not doing a regimental type of a pipe band look, or maybe even if you are that type of band, but you do some more casual, just I guess maybe the wrong word, but more civilian type events, and you want to wear more of a dress sporran and an Argyll type of a cut jacket, then the fact that it doesn't drum, it's perfect. It makes, like, for that purpose, it's for that person. They should get it.
Yeah.
If it's for me, I'm not a piper.
Yeah, that's why I think it works with the Argyll, because
Yeah.
that's essentially what a lot of pipe bands wear it with.
Yeah. I'd rather have a hunting sporran or a dress sporran. I feel like this is serving neither of those needs as well as the existing things do. That's my take.
Yeah, that's kind of why I compared it to the semi-dress. It's neither fish nor fowl. It's not a full dress sporran. It's not a full day sporran. It's a semi-dress.
Yeah.
So I think it falls in the same donut hole that the semi-dress falls in.
Donuts.
Yeah, donuts.
Donuts.
Or German cookies.
German donuts.
German cookie donuts. We eat too much. So but ultimately I think we both agree on Argyll would be a good spot for it.
Yeah.
It's already where it lives with a lot of the pipe bands. So you might be mistaken for a piper by a kilt wearer who kind of knows what they're looking at as far as sporrans go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's kind of the sweet spot is probably Argylls.
I'd agree with that.
Cool. Hope that helped. Mr. Mac.
All right, so we have Ty M23. Says he was recently given his great uncle's Argyll Southern Highlanders badger sporran. What is the best way to preserve it and display it? And he's not planning on wearing it.
Best way to preserve and display an Argyll Sutherland Highlanders badger sporran.
Is this full mask?
That's what I was going to ask.
No, I don't think they're full mask.
Okay. It's the swinging 6.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not full mask?
Let me do some digging. I'm pretty sure it's not, but I could be wrong.
Okay. While Mac does some digging, I would say it really depends on partially how it was taxidermied before. So if the taxidermy on the original sporran, let's say it's from 1910. I have no idea. I'm making up a date. If the taxidermy from back then was good and it's still well done, Mac, you're making a head noise.
It could be either.
Okay.
It could have the head on.
Okay. So either full mask or not.
But
Got
it's
it.
still fur here.
Yeah, but it's still fur. I would, for the leather bit, I would, for the back and things like that, I would probably, put a little bit of leather conditioner on it just to let it soak up and, not crack with age and things like that. For the fur itself, I'm going to cross my fingers that it was well taxidermied when it was made. And I don't know.
And well cared for while it was worn.
And yeah, there's that as well. But he'll know that because he'll be able to see the thing.
Yeah.
I would say don't comb it. Because that would maybe pull some of the hair out. Because what happens is the leather kind of like shrinks over the time, and the pores in the leather that hold in the individual hair follicles, kind of as they shrink, they open up and the hair can pop out. So if it's me, I would probably myself go to a taxidermist and say, what should I do with this? Now, for display purposes or whatever, I would get a shadow box. I would get it. Max over there violently shaking his head. I'd get a shadow box. I would put probably some kind of UV protectant film on the front of the shadow box on the glass to make sure that sunlight isn't damaging the thing in case you keep it on a wall in your home and that, gets a lot of light. I'd probably...
Also picking a wall that doesn't get a lot of light helps.
Picking a wall doesn't get a lot of light, exactly. I would also consider, especially if you have his kilt, actually putting the kilt in there with the sporran and anything else. Just make kind of a little, not shrine, but a memorial to, a member of your family who, served in the Argyll Sunderland Highlanders. That's kind of where I would go with it, but I would see a taxidermist before putting it in the shadow box to get anything that needs to be cared for first.
I'm glad you said that. I agree with that 100% because we get this question in a customer service department every couple of months or so, and it's tough because we're kilt experts. We're certainly sporran wearing experts, but we're dealing with new sporrans primarily here. So I don't feel like we're experts so much in the care of antiques like this. Taxidermist is going to have a lot more to say on this topic than you or I probably.
Yeah. Now, another question we get a lot of is for horsehair sporrans.
Yeah.
If they get all big and poofy and tangly, the only tip I have for that one is there's a product for horses, for like show horses, called Show Sheen. That is safe for horsehair because a horsehair sporran, oddly enough, wait for it, made from horsehair. So that is a safe product to use on a horsehair sporran. And it helps kind of, keep it a little more conditioned. I tell people for a horsehair sporran, you can keep it inside. If you take an old pair of like nylons or something like that, old pair, not your wife's fresh pair, cut off the foot, and you can actually shove a horsehair sporran in there to kind of keep the horsehair compact. But for fur, now, the problem with horsehair is it's actually sewn to the front leather panel of the sporran. So if that one starts to, if some of the hair comes out and that doesn't shed, but if it starts pulling out, you're now loosening what's underneath the stitching, so it's easier for more hair to come out. So you got to be a little bit careful with that. I know daily care for leather sporrans and things that we wear and abuse on a daily basis, but as far as antique stuff, I'd be very hesitant to give sound, do this exact thing type of advice if I'm not sure. Yeah. So taxidermist or somebody who specializes in antique furs and things like that, maybe ask somebody there. I do have a cool idea for the shadow box.
Yeah.
If you don't have the kilt, you just have a sporran, then I'd say get a yard of like the Argyll Sutherland Highlanders. I think they were Campbell Ancient is what they wear, or Black Watch Ancient,
Black Watch,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah. I would get a yard of their cloth, maybe, and
Use that to back.
use that as the backing
Yeah.
for the shadow box and put the sporran on that.
I like that.
And then if you have any other little bits, his kilt pin or his skewed or something like that, or his
Or his-
spats.
War record.
Or his war record, exactly,
Yeah.
or his muster records or anything like that. Put any of that stuff in there with it. That could be pretty cool as well.
So, show sheen, is that a little known relative of Martin and Charlie? Come on. Tiger blood.
You know, I got tiger blood, man.
He's hanging on to that one too.
I know.
Didn't want to interrupt early.
I appreciate that you didn't interrupt for that.
Now we can edit that out. So, show sheen, is that a little known relative of Martin and Charlie?
It's going to be a show of just me and the guitars in the middle. I was talking to
People are
nobody
going to
over
think we
here.
broke up.
Exactly. Yes. Indeed. All right. That was you, Mr. Ian.
So I've got a question here, another one from Matt Horne. I'm thinking of getting a tweed vest to go along with my kilt that I'm having made, and I'd love some color recommendations. The tartan will be MacInnes Hunting Ancient. I really like the look of the Mocha Reeve herringbone from Martin Mills. I like that one too. I own that one. But don't know if the darkness of the brown would look odd with it. Any thoughts? I could also go with a charcoal or something as well. And that's it.
Okay.
I almost started reading internal notes.
Okay. So, if only we had a photo
Yeah.
of maybe the tartan he was
Where could
looking
we
for,
find
to put it
something
on the
like
screen.
Dun, 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 dun,
Interesting.
dun,
Now,
dun, dun.
now, do you think we were smart enough to get the actual tweed?
Certainly not.
No, we would never be smart enough to get the Mocha Reeve tweed and put it right up next to it on the. Interesting. So this is the Mocha Reeve tweed, and this is what was it? MacInnes Hunting Ancient. Yes. This, we took off Martin Mills' website and Loch Aaron's website. So full disclaimer, stole those images from them, but we like them, so we're allowed. Or they like us anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how things work. We steal things all the time. Thieves, I tell you. So Ian, I know you enjoy the Mocha Reeve. I know you have the Mocha Reeve. It's delicious, Mocha and Reeve-esque.
I like both of those things. Put them together. It's a delicious sandwich. So
I thought it was rye. No, okay. Anyway, how do you feel about Mocha Reeve with MacInnes?
I like this. It's one of the vests I own. I wear it more than any other vest that I do. I wish I worn it today. Major oversight on my part.
Oh, how dare you, sir.
Because there's no brown in the tartan, some people wouldn't want to do it. I happen to know a little bit about Matt. He places quite a few orders with us, so I know he's got a lot of kilts. I like the Mocha Reeve because it's going to go with a lot of things. It's neutral enough. If he's at all concerned about this specific tweed not matching this specific tartan, what I would say is use my my kilt wearer's Sith rule of 2. Wear the vest and then wear the weathered brown hose with it. So you've got 2. I very delicately made sure I didn't flash anybody. I think if you wear the color twice, it looks like you did it on purpose and didn't just get dressed in the dark. Although I think it works fine with that ancient color palette. Charcoal is a little bit safer of a choice. It'll go with absolutely everything in your outfit, but even the brown is pretty neutral. It's going to go with a lot.
I agree and disagree. I am not of the you cannot wear brown with this or with this tartan because there's no brown in it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree you can wear brown. I love your rule. I follow the same rule where I call it my top and bottom rule versus rule of 2s. But whatever you're wearing up top, this color doesn't have to be in the kilt, but then wear it in the socks to kind of balance the
or
outfit
at least the
above and
flashes
below
or something.
Yeah.
Depending on
for if I was going to wear a brown tweed or tan tweed with this tartan over here, then I would wear. Patrick is so ready for that. There you go. This is the Moreland coffee.
Moreland coffee.
Yeah, this is the Moreland coffee over there from Martin Mills.
It's a good one too.
It's another good one. This one they actually designed, or the Moreland coffee, they designed specifically to match their weathered tartans. So that one for me ticks 2 boxes, not just one. The Mocha Reeve is a little bit red for my taste, and this is why I wanted to put them on screen side by side so you can actually see how red this one is. It actually matches the the mantle in the back very nicely too. Look at that.
If we made a kilt out of the little carpet there in front of the,
Indeed.
it'd be great.
So that one to me is a little bit too red. That one over there, it's grayer. It's a little bit more neutral, and it allows the tartan itself to stand out a touch more. So if it were me, I would probably go with that one over there, the Mocha, no, what was it called? The Moreland Coffee. Yes. I like that one myself. Now, the other option is something with a Love-It green or a Love-It blue. So we have one more to throw up on the screen there. So this is a Love-It green. I think it's the regular GT Love-It green that we have on our website. This will match any ancient tartan with green and or blue in it. It tones very, very, very well. You do not have to follow the rules of 2 that we were talking about, where you wear that on the top as well as the bottom, because the colors are in the kilt. And
You can, but you're not as limited.
Correct. You could wear charcoal hose with that one, or bottle green hose, or like other colors with it as well. But for those of us who are matchy kind of mentality, I would go, that one, period. It's going to match. This one right here is one that matches. It doesn't match, but it tones well, and it'll be fine with that. And then you do the top and bottom rule. Again, this one, a little bit too reddish for me. The other one that we talked about, charcoal. The other one that I love is like the mid-gray. I think one of the mannequins, the mannequin over Ian's shoulder, has that in there. It's our gray Braemar jacket and vest. That one, especially if you have salt and pepper beard or salt and pepper hair, great. You look distinguished wearing that mid-gray kind of color. It's not too light. It's not too dark. And again, that goes with anything. You don't have to worry about color matching, whether it's ancient, modern, weathered, whether it's a regular fashion tartan, whether it's something completely different. If it's purple, it doesn't freaking matter. The gray will match, charcoal will match, or the mid-gray matches. Thoughts?
I like the Moreland and Coffee quite a bit. The only reason I don't own it already is because I already own 2 brown vests. I like that one quite a bit. We should probably add that one to our website, Rocky, when you're adding those straps.
Oh, it was.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was added a while ago.
We'll see.
So
Check it later.
Yeah. It's not like me to not add something to the website when it comes out. Years. Because I don't have time to do anything. Okay. So that's our suggestion. Ian, pick any of them. Me, this one,
I like these 2 best.
Yeah. Or gray. If you want something versatile, it's going to match anything, gray. If you want something that you can wear, and again, knowing you specifically, knowing you have multiple kilt options, frankly, you're fine with any of these. Because any of these, you'll find something that it'll work with.
Yeah.
So.
I'd agree with that.
Cool. Slanjava. Mr. Mac.
Alrighty. So we have James asking, is knife pleating on a great kilt more of a modern convention versus traditional?
Knife pleating. Is knife pleating on a great kilt modern or traditional?
I kind of don't like this question. I don't feel like I would even call it knife pleating per se, though it resembles it.
I would.
Yeah.
Because they're all going one direction.
They're all going one direction, but it's not like you're like pressing them to that knife sharp edge either, though. I mean, it's more like knife pleating than any other type of pleating. Yes, fair point.
Well, there's a what's it called, rolled pleating.
Yeah,
where
rolled.
It's more of a soft edge, like a gray kilt would have if you want to split hairs on it. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say knife pleating from an aspect of all the pleats are going one direction. I cannot imagine a Highlander getting up in the morning in the middle of the Highlands in a on a mountaintop somewhere, going on top of Ben Lomond, going to tend his flock of sheep in the valley below, saying, hold on, I'm going to box pleat this.
Yeah.
And trying to pleat it both directions and taking 87 hours to pleat the damn thing. No, they're just going to go, bloop, 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 bloop. All right, wrap it on, whippity-doo-dah, put it over the shoulder, done.
I can't claim to be a historical expert on exactly how they were wearing it back then, but I can't imagine doing it any other way.
Yeah, it's Occam's razor.
Yeah.
It's the simplest answer is probably the right one.
I do think a lot of great kilt guys, especially ones who are new to it, overthink the pleating of these too much. They're worried about pleating to the set versus the stripe. Don't worry about that. It's a great kilt. It truly does not matter. Whatever works best in terms of the amount of material to fold in per each pleat is much more important of a question. Doing it to the stripe can make it easier to make it consistent.
Yep.
But if you have a really small or really, really large set size, that might not be practical. Just make sure you're grabbing about the same amount of material per pleat, and that's the only important thing here.
You would make a spectacular little comic gopher. Just grab it, dig little holes.
Allie kept talking about the movie Groundhog Day today, so that's what's...
Bill Murray, Scottish accent,
Yeah.
Groundhog Day, not a Christmas movie.
I was asking her the Christmas movie question, and she was trying to say Groundhog Day. She's like, what, that's not a Christmas movie? I'm like, no, I think it's a Groundhog's Day. Turned out she was mixing it up with Scrooge. I think because of
They're so similar.
I think it's because of Gus, the groundhog selling Christmas lottery tickets. Hi, Allie. I hope you're watching.
Love you, Allie. Ian's not making fun of you at all.
Didn't mean to, but here we go.
I know. It all comes full circle here at USA Kilts.
Groundhog.
Making fun of employees. Good job, Ian. We'll be sure to bring that up in your review.
And hers.
Fair. All right, Mr. Mac. Was that you?
That was.
All right, Ian.
So our old friend Don Boozer is asking, says, curious about washing a PV semi-traditional kilt in a washing machine. How do you keep the buckles from damaging the tub? How do you protect the straps? Just curious about the actual logistics of the washable kilt prep, actual washing and drying.
Okay. How do you protect the leather and stop the buckles from damaging your washing machine? You don't, and you don't.
Yeah, there you go. Done.
Pretty much it.
Solved that one.
I've owned 50 something kilts.
That's an underestimate.
Yeah, that's fair. It's probably closer to 100, the number I've sold. Let's say I've owned 100 kilts. I've laundered them many, many, many times, often in a washing machine. Or my wife has, in fairness, I'm not going to lie and say I sat there and laundered every one of my kilts. It's never hurt the washing machine that I've ever seen or worried about. That she and believe me, she would yell at me if something of mine ruined the washing machine. So I don't see it as a problem. We've never had a customer say like, "Hey, this has been a problem." You?
I've never heard of anybody saying that. I've washed my semi-traditional kilts with buckles and straps in a washing machine plenty of times. I've never had this problem. I've never heard this problem.
Yeah.
If it is something you're still worried about and can't get it out of your head, I guess you could, attach your buckles and straps and try to flip the whole thing inside out so that those buckles aren't hitting the outside of your tub. But I don't really think that's necessary.
Or make little pockets out of old socks.
Yeah.
Wrap them up.
How violent is this washing machine?
You should be using a gentle, delicate cycle, for the record.
Is it a mosh pit? Like, what is going on?
He's like loading it into the washing machine. He's like beating the hell out of the machine with his kilt, whipping it in there. Like, darn USA Kilts. This is how I wash all my stuff.
You do look like you're in a mosh pit.
I know, exactly. All right. Enough of my moshing days. Get wild.
Before you hurt yourself.
Or you.
Throw out your shoulder or something.
Exactly. Ooh, my back. Damn kids. Mosh pits and hula hoops. So.
Hula hoops.
Well, you bring him a hula hoop to your mosh pit?
And
Why
their
not?
damn Rubik's Cubes.
I know. You're sticking hoop games?
Oh, Lance's favorite from his
Exactly. I think we broke you in there. All right. Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about that part. The leather that we use for the straps and buckles on our semi-traditional kilts is actually different than the straps and buckles that we use or the straps that we use on our wool kilts, in that it is a veg tan leather. It's the same it's the same stuff that you can get from a couple different suppliers over in Scotland that, kilt makers buy all their notions from, their little bits and bobs, as it were. But it's a veg tan leather, and it doesn't like suck up the water in the same way that our like higher quality leather that, same kind of stuff that we make our belts out of, does. So it's not a problem. And the bigger problem would be with leather specifically, if you put it in the dryer. It's the sudden, heat change and fast drying thing that kind of screws up and or cracks the leather. So the way we tell people to launder their semi-traditional kilts is put it in the washing machine, gentle cycle, let it go through, make sure
No fabric softener.
no fabric softener, make sure the buckles don't bang in the drum and ruin your drum, apparently. But, and then once it's done washing in the washing machine, take it out, snap it dry, and then lay it over the back of the couch, lay it over a clothes rack, lay it at the bottom of the bed, and let it air dry. While it is damp, I would, kind of squish out or even out, I would say, the pleats to kind of let them rest and dry in a more natural position versus like all crumpled up. It makes your job ironing a lot easier. Do the same thing with the straps. So the leather straps, when they come out of the washing machine, if you've left them in the buckles, take them out of the buckles to dry. I would make sure that they're nice and flat. If you want to try to take some of the moisture out yourself, then I would say take like some paper towels and, fold up, like 4 or 5 folds in a paper towel and like squish it and kind of press the strap in the paper towel to try to absorb some of the water out of the strap. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. I've never had someone come back and say, 3-4 washings later, my washing machine ruined this kilt. You said I could wash it. Frankly, it'll be fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Or that this kilt has ruined my washing machine.
Or that the kilt's ruined the washing machine. Exactly.
Yeah. This is related to a question we get more commonly down in customer service, which is, will you guys take the embossed leather straps? I love those on your wool kilts, and will you put them on your semi-traditional kilt? And the answer is no, because you don't want to put those embossed straps through the wash in the same way. It'll absorb all the moisture. The embossing comes out. So that is one point we won't bend on.
Yeah. The embossed leather straps are a better grade of leather. And what happens is the leather, when it gets wet, it swells. And the problem is then the embossing essentially almost goes away or lessens a lot. So you can wet wash it, but it's not ideal. It's not great. A lot of my wool kilts that I've wet washed, the embossing is lesser than it was when I first got the straps done. So something to keep in mind.
Yep.
Good point. Cool. Mr. Mac.
Alrighty, so we have Elizabeth saying she enjoys the KNC group and it's been her place of refuge in these wild times out in the
refuge?
world. Yeah.
Place of refuge.
Yeah, that's fine. Too.
She is a refugee.
Yeah, you gonna make it, Patrick? Also, will the P&W tartan still be available in January? Much love to USA Kilts and a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you. Yes, the PNW will still be available in January.
Probably.
No, 100%, because we're not going to get it until January.
Sure.
And we've over-ordered on that one a little bit.
How many orders do we get between now and January, though?
From your lips to God's ears. There you go. No, it's not going to be. Buy it now. Quick. Press buy. Act today. Yeah, what we're trying to do with the America 250 collection in general is I've decided, against my accountant's wishes, I've decided to over-order the cloth. So that way, A, it's a slightly better price for us. B, it allows stragglers to kind of come through a few weeks or a month or so later and still have access to it. So I made the mistake, I'll say, with the first one, with E Pluribus Unum, where we did what was ordered and then added about 25% more on. And then it was kind of like, cool, that's it. That's what we're going to do. And then orders just kept kind of coming through for it. And I was just like, it's slow and it's trickling, but it's not dying. So we should probably order more. And I kind of got the thought that a lot of people are kind of waiting for a particular one to hit, and then if they don't like that one, then they go back and buy the other one that they liked better and that kind of thing. So we're trying to overstock a little bit on it without being house poor, essentially, or cash poor, by buying way too much cloth on every single one. Pacific Northwest just ended a few days ago, so yes, I've overordered on that one. I know we're going to have enough cloth.
Substantial amount.
I can confidently say, come January, yes, we'll still have that one in stock.
And I would say if we've sold so many of them between now and January that we're out of cloth,
I'm ordering more cloth
we
than
might
right
order
away
more
anyway.
cloth. Yeah. So the point that I was trying to get at when I was saying maybe January is just that we're not necessarily stocking these forever. We could choose to do some of them, but we are overordering. We're going to have it for a little while, but it's hard to predict. We should have it in January. Good chance we'll still have some in February. Will we have any in March? Oh.
Yeah. There's a phrase I use often around here, especially in marketing. I think it was the founder of Sears. Was it Sears
Mr.
or J.C.
Sears.
Penney's? It was the founder of one of those two who's had a phrase. The profit is in the last hat in the box, not the first. So you have to sell through all the stuff, and that's when a business starts actually making more money, is when they've paid off all the bills for the cloth, for the labor, for the notions, for all the rest of the bits. So I'm over-ordering a little bit on the hopes that it will eventually sell through. I don't want to have to order it 6 times. I'd rather order it once or twice. But at the same time, I don't want to just, sell out of it and then miss extra sales. So we're aiming at a moving target a little bit, but we're doing our best. So if you want it, speak soon and maybe hold your peace for a period. I don't know.
Yeah.
So hope that helps, kind of ish. You're good. If somebody watches this video like a year and a half from now, you're probably SOL, pal. Sorry.
You can
Missed it.
ask.
Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah.
Sure.
See what we can do.
Get a bunch of people together. We'll do another run.
Yeah.
All right, Ian.
All right. I've got a question from an Ian.
This will be the last one. Then we'll do the answers for the thing.
So he spells his name differently, but Ian Cardno.
He's allowed.
I'll be the judge of that. This group is obviously a bit skewed towards people who like kilts, but from an industry standpoint,
Wee bit.
in both the US and Scotland, do you see the demand for kilts growing or declining? And is there a difference between the two geographies when you are speaking to industry colleagues?
Okay, so this one could actually be a long question, a long answer. I kind of cursed there, but didn't really mean to. Is the demand for kilts on the uptick, on the downtick, or level? I would say in the 20 plus years we've been in business, it's definitely, we've grown as a company, obviously, but I'd say it's going up for sure.
And the whole industry has definitely grown, not just us.
I'd say the industry has grown probably not at the rate that we have grown within it, because, some businesses go out, some businesses go kaput, and then other businesses, grow and take their place. I would almost say that I would absolutely say that there are different markets, especially, Scotland is a vastly different market than the diaspora, the rest of the world. And even the US is a different market than Australia, than a different market than Canada. So in doing research, it's there's challenges in every single market. The only thing, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's part of Scottish identity today for different reasons, but it's also part of Scottish diaspora, identity as well. Different reasons, but it's still part of the identity. The only thing, and I'm going to go to a kind of weird angle here. The only thing that's this much concerning in a particular way is kilt wearing in Scotland, from an aspect of, with the casualization of dress today versus 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. You don't have as many functions to be dressed up for. You're not wearing, your fanciest clothes every other weekend. To go out to a nice dinner, you're not wearing a suit. Maybe you're wearing a polo, or maybe you're wearing a sweater, or maybe you're just wearing a t-shirt, but you're not wearing a suit. So I would say I'm kind of likening it to suit sales to some degree.
Yeah.
That's definitely declined in the last 50 or 80 years. Guys don't wear suits to the office like they used to.
And you look at old photos of baseball games, people wearing suits and nice dresses, and you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, you don't get dressed up to the same level. So this is where my concern comes in, specifically in Scotland. If the kilt is being reserved for formal dress functions, for weddings, for funerals, for just fancy stuff, and you're not wearing it on a daily basis or anything, even monthly basis, then there will be a question in younger people, because older people are going to die at some point. But in the younger people, the question is going to be, why should I buy a kilt? Or why should I pay, $800 or, 700, 600 pounds for this thing if I'm only going to wear it, once every other year? I'll just rent it. So I think the rental industry will will kind of sustain that gap to some degree, but it's not going to be the same numbers of kilts coming out because it's one kilt being rented, 30, 40, 50 times across its lifespan to 50 different people. So I think there is it's not a threat of it going away, but with the casualization of dress, I think it has a better chance to stick around in the diaspora where we want to wear it to connect with family heritage and go to festivals and go to events and kind of do it in a more casual way than it is traditionally done in Scotland.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. I think it's growing with the change in America more so than probably over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mac, do you have any thoughts on this over in your chair looking casual in your cap? No, he's got nothing.
I think the rise of the serial kilter in the U.S. has certainly helped increase the demand for kilts. There's no one person who has, caused an uptick in the market, but, groups of people, especially people who join the Kilts Culture group, who are making kilts part of their daily outfits, are contributing and making it more public and visible that this is an option for men as an alternative to the standard. Certainly kilts aren't rivaling trousers for standard daily wear in the U.S., but it is becoming more accepted. I think most people have probably seen a guy in a kilt just at their local farmer's market or at a sporting event or something. Not commonly, but at least on occasion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the fact that it is so readily identifiable as different, and it's approachable. It's different, but in an approachable way. It's not somebody going out and this is not me disparaging like a goth type outfit. If Eric was here, I would say the same thing. It's if you're wearing a goth type outfit, or if you're wearing something that makes you look scary to old people who are going to clutch their pearls or clutch their purse. It's not an approachable different thing. Like, oh, that's neat and different. I want to talk to that person. I want to find out why. It's kind of they're a little bit scary. They're a little bit mean looking. I don't know if I want to talk to them. Kilts don't have that at all. They have that, I want to talk to that guy kind of thing going on.
Sometimes. So
it's every person wearing the kilt is an ambassador of the kilt.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's why we say you have to be a good ambassador of everything that you like to do. Be a good ambassador within it, because especially wearing kilts, because it's people are going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to find out why. They're going to have their own questions, or they're going to want to relate their own stories, and they're going to see you and go like, wow, that dude has the guts to wear the thing that I've thought about wearing. Maybe it is an option. Maybe I could wear it too. That's neat. I didn't know I could actually do it. That's awesome. And so you're helping other people kind of get over that mental hurdle a little bit.
It's a flaw to your logic.
There's never a flaw in
You
my
introduced the concept of the casualization of dress worldwide, not just in America, but also we're concerned about people clutching their pearls. If people are dressing more casually, they don't have pearls to clutch as readily, Rocky.
It's fair. I have my pearls hidden underneath my t-shirt.
Fair enough.
Indeed. I just like pearls. Not at all. All right. back to the question of the day. Boys and girls. Yeah, there we go.
Bam.
There it is. All right. So, would you be interested in having USA Kilts logo-y, like their little lion guy? Who is it? Liam the Lion. Yes. Would you be interested?
Do we have a name for the lion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I learning this for the first
Yeah,
time
we've
right
had it
now?
for a while.
I have never heard this before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Some people, you think you know 'em.
I didn't know you named your son after our logo.
Exactly. So, would you wear products with Liam the Lion on them, whether it's kilt pin, belt buckle, cap badge, big back tattoo, full back piece? Let me know. Mac, what are people out there saying?
All right, so we've got the really
And or what products?
they really like the polo shirts that they've seen us wear.
Okay.
Somebody did mention about having the USA Kilts stitched on the back of a flat cap. So
Is a pin not good enough for them?
maybe not. Maybe both. Maybe they need both. There's tons of yeses in general. There's plenty of people interested. Kilt pin, buckles, car magnets, and or sticker, which I believe stickers
We do have
might be
stickers.
available.
Yes.
We do have stickers.
Somebody else did mention about a semi-dress-sporran with the logo on it. Perhaps a nice brooch.
We do have a
Semi-dress.
sporran.
Yeah, semi-dress sporran has the logo on it. Yep.
An
With stressed tan.
embossed belt.
That we won't do, and I'll tell you why. Because all of our belts do not have a side to them. Because our belt buckles come from multiple manufacturers, and some of them have it so that the belt has to wrap this way, and some of them have it so the belt wraps this way. So depending on which buckle you get, your belt could be upside down if it's not a symmetrical design. So it is intentional that all of our belts have a symmetrical up and down, top versus bottom design, and that would not be.
Yep.
Unless we did like alternating, like one going
Yeah,
this
one
way,
up,
one
one down,
going
one
this
up,
way.
one down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So maybe.
Just logo money or logo items.
money?
Take my money. Patches.
Kilt coins back.
Pins and buckles again. Somebody said about hook and loop patches for gear.
Okay.
Jerseys such as like a soccer jersey or rugby jersey, or maybe even a hockey jersey.
Okay.
Another nod to the rugby shirt. Belt buckles again. Somebody
Jesus, you
said they
people want it on everything.
Yeah, somebody.
We've been
said,
trying to tell you this.
drone ribbons and fanfare horn banners. I
mean, like rubber ducky, rubber head lion, they're like just flopping off drone cords.
shot glasses, zip up hoodies.
We do have.
We have these on the
we have
website. The Glen
Glen
Cairn
cans.
glasses, yeah. I'll hold it up against black.
I don't think we have the logo on the website unless we added it recently.
Do we don't?
We used to not, at least.
Okay, so we have these. They exist, so you can call and get them. Okay.
So there's a smattering of products that
Okay.
they're saying, and there's
Now I got
lots
to
of-
weed through that book that
lots
you
of
just wrote.
yeses.
Yeah.
You're gonna weed through all that and figure out what the heck we're gonna do. All right. It's like we're gonna spend a lot of money on different new products.
Hot air balloon. It's plastic outside a hot air balloon. We could just fly it around the county just to help drum up business.
Zeppelin. It's gonna
Zeppelin.
we're just going to Zeppelin.
I'm not that German.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
We'll do it in the German heritage tartan with the logo over it.
get an inflatable arm waving tube man with the Leo the Lion head on top. All
I
right.
could see it like the head of like one of those like Chinese dragons at the festivals.
No, out front of USA Kilts, like the lions that guard the doors.
Yes.
Yes.
That would be cool as heck.
Yes. No. All right, boys and girls, thank you for joining us. I apologize for all the craziness and horrible, horrible puns that some of us said
Very
throughout the
little of
show.
my jokes were puns.
Enough. One's too many, Ian. We still love you. All right. Thank you for joining us, boys and girls. Until next time, Slan Java.
Would you wear a tweed quilt? Quilt.
These are called kilts. They're not quilts,
Yeah,
Ian.
thank you.
I'm going to help with your training